Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Rising World. I'm the Radio Man 03. It is awesome to have you along. I meant to have an episode up for you on Friday, but my daughter stopped by, so my afternoon was consumed by visiting with my daughter. So that's why there was no second episode last week for Rising World, but we've got one going on right now. It is Sunday morning, and I'm working on Rising World. I actually spent Saturday getting caught up on some things around the cabin. As you can see, we've got the roofing started. Now, I didn't do all of it because some of you wanted to see me do the roof, so I've got a part of it done, but we've got a chunk right here that we still need to do. So this is the last piece of this part of the roof, and as you can see, we've got a little bit of touch-up work to do because of the fact that we're building this on top of logs. So let's get started on it right away. I don't want you guys having to wait for this, but this is how I'm doing it, and we're going to go bring this down and over. There we go. There we go. Beautiful. No. Okay, let's just backspace out of that. We're going to turn this. Of course. You know, you get on first thing in the morning, and it's brutal. All right, let's get this broadened out. Spin this around. There we go. Up. Nope. There we go. There we go. All right, beautiful. All right, now we're set. Just being a little bit difficult for me. So for the roof, what I've been doing is I'm butting up against that log that's up on top. Let's hit Control and take a look at that. As you can see, it's coming right up here, and it's blending in quite nicely to that. I think what we could do is move this over a little bit. I wonder... Let's hit Control again. I don't kind of like where that one's leaning up against, but I don't know that we have much of a choice here because of the fact that I think this log that it's sitting on over here is this one that's underneath us is actually quite right. You know, we've got a few flaws here and there, but that looks a little bit better right there. It's sitting up a little bit higher on this side than this side, but I think it's going to be okay. Let's see, can we stretch this out any further? We sure can. Let's do that right there, and let's hit Control one more time. And we're going to try to move this over a little bit more. Let's see if we can get this to come down. If we do this right here, I think we're not going to be quite butted up to the roof as we want it to be. Yeah, see, this log right here is just a little bit higher than what this one was over here, but that's okay. We're okay with that. That's fine. As long as we've got a roof on here that we're not getting wet inside, we're good to go. Control. And we're lined up at the end of the log here. That's what I put those logs out for. That's kind of our representing our eaves. So we are on our way now. So Control. And we're going to turn Return on. That way what we're going to do is every time we want to, we can just go to the edge of this board right here. And it's going to snap it into place right where it needs to be. Now, sometimes they'll go a little bit squirrely on you, and you got to be careful with it. So if we do this, we should be able to go all the way across here, and we should have a nice solid roof on. And that's all you got to do to get it started. Get that first one laid in perfectly, make sure you're happy with it, and then the rest of them you can just kind of slide right into place, like so. And we're going to take this one and shrink it down till we see it come out, and then we're going to bring it back right into the wall, hit Control, let's take a look and see, and that looks pretty darn good to me, and Control again, there we go, and then we're going to bring this back out. Now we got to come down here and figure out what we need to kind of finish off the roof of this part, and we're going to get the porch roof put on today too. Okay, so there we go, we're going to snap right into place there because we've got Return on still. We're going to bring this in and have it just go barely over the end of that log, hit Control, let's take a look at it and see. Probably a little bit more. So let's stretch that out a little bit more. Hit Control again and bring it on up here and Control. And I think that's going to be good. And as long as we keep it in Control, we can just bring this back out. And snap. Snap. It goes really fast. I tell you what, the roof at the very beginning when I first started playing this game, this was a huge challenge, but throughout the time, and thanks to the wonderful subscribers out there, you guys, it has been much better. All right, so now we got a bit of a line going on right here. You see this little bit of light going through here? I don't know if that's going to be a huge problem. I had that happen on the larger roof as well, and you can usually see that from inside. And I'm not sure if our second row is going in properly. So let's go take a look at that and see. The scaffolding can be a little bit squirrely. That gap is a little bit narrow for us. Yeah, you see, you can see that up there. Now, if we go over here, I had the same thing kind of happening right along here, and you could almost spot it a little bit. And you get a little bit of it just does this, the shadowing and stuff, the lighting of some things. It just gets kind of odd up there. Don't forget, we are going to put struts up here. Trusses that are going to hold this roof up and make it look more natural, because we are stick building this season on this particular build right here. So let's go back up. We're going to knock those out, and we're going to try to lay them in a little bit better and maybe go for a different direction as to where we're going to put them. So let's find out where they're... We're starting to get that little bit of a gap. It's right here. Again, have plenty of resources available because you are going to make some mistakes. It looks to me like we're good here. Nope, that one's got a bit of a gap in it too. Yeah, we're good here. Okay, so now back to these guys here. They should be the right length. We still have return on. And instead of aiming at this edge over here, we're going to aim up here, like so. Now let's take a look at this one right here and see. Yeah, see, that's pulling it in towards the top. So that's what we want to do, so we don't have that line inside when we look up at the ceiling every time. Hope everyone's doing great. I am doing fantastic. Like I said, it is my Sunday, so I am at home. Variety is out playing with some friends on some Minecraft. Oh, man, I just made that longer. Control, let's see. Control. And we want to actually shrink this down. There it goes. And we have to shrink it this way as well. So control again, hit return and control, and now we're lined up nice and neatly. It goes into the wall just perfectly. So there it is. There's our roof. We've got the main house roof on, and then the front entryway here, this roof on as well. So the other thing that you guys voted on that you said you really wanted to see was a roof on top of the porch. So let's take a look at that. Do we have what we need? We have 23 logs in our inventory. I believe we have exactly what we need. I kind of found a way of doing a little something here. I'm going to show you in just a second. Let's take this and let's make that as big as we can go and turn return off. And we're going to turn this out, and hopefully this is going to flip up. Nope. Oh boy. These logs, it's really hard to tell. There we go. There we go. If you're going the right direction. Oh boy. We got to turn this all the way back towards us, and then we can do that, and now we can turn it around. All right, let's hit Control and C. That's going to bring it up right about there. We don't need a big high roof. You can see here I need to put a log up underneath here to hide that gap, which we'll do. That's no problem. Let's go ahead and slide this over. Let's stretch it all the way out. There we go. Slide it on over. Actually, you know what? Let's do this here real quick. Let's go Control. Let's turn the return off. Oh, I think I just turned the return on is what I did. Control. We're going to bring this back this way. And we're going to want that to hang over the edge because this is going to be the eaves of the porch. So we're going to bring this down. And let's go ahead and slide it out a little bit further and page down a little bit more. And then slide it right on in here like so. And how are we doing? I want to kind of line up over the top of this log right here. That's the support. So I think we come back out a little bit and bring this down a little bit more. Maybe not quite so much. Something like that right there. Yeah, and it goes into the wall a little bit, so that's going to be good. So we're going to hit Control. And do I have Control still on? I do. Beautiful. So now we're going to keep the Control on. We want this to line up with that one right there. We want it to be identical, so that's the key, is to have that Control on when you snap it into place. Now we can slide this one all the way over to the side, and we're going to have a perfectly even beam. What I have been doing is failing to push the Control. I just have the return on, and then I take the Control off, and what happens is I've got to take the next log that I want on the other side. I try to line it up with the one that I'm standing on right now that we just placed. I try to mirror it and get it to go right inside the other log, and then I can slide it down, and it's the perfect log. But as long as you have Control on and you don't remove it, it should be good to go. And then we'll throw our last two pieces on top of this one, and it should be right into the wall, and then we can place our roofing on this, and the porch will be roofed, which is perfect. Yeah, the porched roof I think is going to look really nice. It's going to add a lot of flavor to the top roof coming down on the bottom roof. I think it's a good idea. So now we want to make sure we're right on top of this guy right here. So let's do this, and I think we're going to be good to go here. Let's see here. Maybe back just a hair, like so, and pop it into place. Okay, we're going to hit Control. Now we got that off. And I think if I jump up on the scaffolding here, I should be able to reach this guy right here. And let's turn return back on, and let's shrink this guy down. We want him in the wall, but not too far into the wall. Control, hold it in place, and yeah, we're good to go. All right, beautiful. And we're going to have to do the same thing with this guy over here, but it's going to be a little bit trickier to get it actually in there. This may knock us right off of here, but there we go. And nope, I'm going to be able to get back out. Beautiful. Is that long enough? Oh boy, no, it's not long enough. Okay, so what we need to do here is break this one out. Let's do this again, and we need to add a little bit to it. Hit Control. That looks better to me. And Control. There we go. Return off. And now we've got the roofing for this area. So let's go back to our planks. We're going to stretch it out as far as we can with the arrow keys and the shift key, and we're going to make it a little bit wider, as wide as we can go with it, and up we go. And this ought to hopefully... Whoops. Let's go like this. Alright, obviously I am doing this the wrong way. I always do this. There we go. Backspace again. Let's turn it like this, spin it around, and back over this way again, and we got to come down one more with it. And this should be good to go here, I think. Not quite. Not quite. So again, we're going to backspace and delete all that stuff we did to it. Spin it around. Oh, I did it again. Like this. And we're going to lay it down. Turn it. Are we lined up now? There we go. That looks better. Okay, perfect. All right, now what we're going to have to do here is we are actually going to have to get this first one lined up. Get your eave on the left-hand side here. You want to figure out how far you want that to stick out. Hit Control, and we're going to pull this up into the wall. Oh, boy. Okay, so page up. There we go. Let's do Control again. Let's do that again right here. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that eave. We could probably come out a little bit further. Control. It's going to go in a little bit, but if we bring that up just a hair, it should be good. Now, if we come down here, we could see just at the bottom of this log if it's sitting on the log or are we too far above it. And it looks to me like we are right on it, so that's going to be good to go there. So click it into place, Control, and now the rest of these guys, if we have return on, it should snap them right into place. And we're going to aim at the side this time. Just like that. And I am out of wood. I thought we were out of wood, but I was downstairs working on something. Let me show you something. Let me see if you guys can see the difference. Let's get some more wood and some more planks here. Go down the basement. You notice anything different down here? We're one block lower. This took 2 hours. It took 2 hours to take the floor all out and bring it down by 1. But yeah, the 5 high is a good idea, a really great idea. So the basement's now 5 high, and now you can see the drying racks actually fit in here without going through the floor above. How great is that? Pretty fantastic. So we've got 20 more of these guys. I'm using the really dark wood. Let's stop that from spinning, and I don't think we have to make all of them. Actually, you know what we do? We're going to need them anyways. There's different things around the house on the outside that are going to have to be adjusted, and I'll try to show those to you right now. If you look at the eaves of the house, I don't know. I guess that's far enough out. I think I'd like these to be a little bit further out. It was hard for me to see what was going on some of the edges, so I'm thinking about putting scaffolding up and bringing this back out like maybe an extra foot on that side. The side of the house here is fine, That worked out great. The chimney is massive. I had ladders up here so I could get up and down. I did die. I fell off the roof and died. But you can see the eaves are looking pretty good, except for on the end. Like, this needs to come out a little bit further than this log right here. It shouldn't be the exact same length as that log. So it was just difficult to see from up on the roof. Like this one here, you can see we actually have an eave where it comes off. Someplace that we can put our fascia board around the house. So that's what I was thinking about there. The sun is sinking. Let's go ahead and take a sleep. And we'll come back out and we'll finish up that porch roof, and we will have a roofing on the house, which is fantastic. Sip my coffee here real quick. Ah, marvelous. We'll get our extra supports on the porch, and then I'll do some of the other eaves on my own. If I hit escape, does it turn it to day? No, it's not going to do that. At least it's a nice sunny day today. Maybe it did do that. Maybe it did switch it. I don't know. I can't tell. I can't tell if the sun is coming up or if it's going down. Let's go back on up here. Our beautiful roof. Yes, indeed. I was going to try to find a way to do some shake shingles, and I'm not sure if I can figure that one out. I'm not sure. And it would be very, very expensive. Now, this is interesting. Oh, there we go. Okay, it's fine. I thought for sure that log was going to show, but it's not. All right, and snap that guy into place. Awesome. So now we're going to come down here, and we got to fatten that back up all the way again. And we're going to shrink this down, I'd say right about there. I can see the eave hanging off the edge of the roof there, and we're actually going to go with return is on. Return is on. There we go. Bingo, just like that. Let's see how much eave is hanging off the edge here. That is too much. Too much. I've gone too far. Let's try this again. Control. Yeah, that's way too much. Control. Get it back up there to snap on the return. And now let's take a look at that and see. We don't want too much. It still looks to me like it's a bit much. It's a little too far out. So we're going to shrink that up a little bit more and hit Control. Get that board back in our inventory. And then we'll come up here and we'll place it one more time and see. If you take your time and do it right, it works out much, much better. Have I learned that one on this game? Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. All right, so here we go. So snap. We've got the right length board now. We don't have to worry about this anymore. And snap. Snap. Snappy snap. Hold on. Let's get down here where we can definitely see that. There we go. And come into here and shrink this down. I hit Control. I didn't mean to hit Control. I don't want to hit Control. And now I'm going to hit Control because we do... Oh, I had Control hit. Control. There we go. I want a little bit of eave off the side here, so we definitely need to bring this out just a little bit more. None of the rest of the eave is going to show, so let's hit Control. Back over here, Control again, and there we go. Beautiful. Awesome. All right, porch on the roof. We got the roof. This strip line is going to come off, and what we're going to do in here, let's see, let's get one of these guys right here. Let's turn off the return, backspace to delete any movements that you've made with the logs, and let's shrink this down a little bit. We're going to come back in here with this guy here, and we're going to stretch this out. And this is going to be our repair guy. He's going to fix up our roof and make it look like we didn't make any mistakes. Yes. It's not coming through the top there either, so let's do that. Jut that out a little bit, maybe bring it back in a little bit. Let's make sure we're lined up here really well. Or pretty good. I mean, you're not going to see this log, but what the heck, we're going to make sure we do it right. Return. Oh, did I put that into the wall? Oh, somehow I did. Somehow I did. Oh boy, we should probably check inside. Where's that? That's going to be at that top corner there. We should probably check that to make sure it did not come in to the wall to where we're going to be able to see it inside. Up in this right-hand corner here, and it looks to me like we have nothing protruding through the wall that we don't want there, so I think we're good to go with that. And then this has to be done on each of the eaves around the house, because we do have this bit of a gap in here. But right now we can come in here and hit return, like so. And then we come over here and shrink this guy down. Just until he's inside that log, and kapow. There we go. So now you can see we got a nice smooth line up there. Everything's looking fantastic. My water is low. Let's go get some water. The fruit trees have been booming. I was on Sunday playing for probably, I'm going to say 3-4 hours, and it took a long time. You could see the saplings we planted in the last episode are finally starting to grow. I mean, it takes several days for these guys to actually kick into gear and get going. I'm kind of surprised at just how long it takes for these trees to grow, but it does take a little bit of time. All our fruit trees have come in, and they're just booming, especially the cherry trees. They have been going absolutely berserk with the cherries. If you want to look in here, you can see I've got just a ton of cherries right now. It's unbelievable how many cherries have come in. We had 2 stacks. Now we're up to almost 6 stacks of cherries. So they've really come in. What do you think? I think it's beautiful. I think it's absolutely beautiful. Let's go ahead and get one of these logs put in here as well, since we're right here. Turn off the return. Okay, that's going to be too big. You can see that by right now just by looking at it. Let's stretch it all the way out. It was definitely going through the roof. We don't want it doing that. And control, and I think we can arrow key that over, and we're going to arrow key back a little bit so it goes inside that log. And how are we doing in terms of it being on top of that log where it needs to be, like so. Let's go on up on top of the roof here and take a look. Check all your bases. Make sure everything is good. We're looking good there, I think. And out front here, it looks to me like it can come over a little bit more. We're going to go... I can't see it, but we're going to bring it over a little bit more. There we go. I think we're good. We're going to check up on the roof one more time. The things you have to do to make sure things are right. Make sure it's not protruding through the roof. It is not. We're going to snap that one into place just like that from way over here. And then we're going to hit control. And we're going to have to go up on the porch to do this one here. And right there, if we hit return, there it should grab it. Hit control. We're good to go there. And we're going to do this one more time. I think if I get up on this little railing here, we should be able to see what we're doing. And we're going to come down and we're going to line this one up with this guy right over here. Oh. Like that. Pop. Bingo. That should take care of that gap that was up there. Yeah, there we go. A little bit of trim loggage going on in there. That works out pretty good. And then what we're going to have to do on all of this stuff, return off, we're going to have to go like so. Leave it here. Tilt it up. Now bring it around. Bring it back. Tilt it down. Bring it over. And then stretch it out. There we go. Just like this. All right, what we're going to do here now is we're going to put in what's going to be our supports for the roof. So I'm going to use this darker grain you see right in here. I'm going to use that as my guide to where I'm going to need my supports. Let's go control. You got to be careful with these guys when you're pushing up on the planks like that. The planks and the beams are the same kind of material. They blend nicely. So you got to make sure they're not pushing through. Sometimes it'll grab them and push them through, especially if you use the grid. You really got to be careful with the grid. That's why I don't use it very often, because it'll actually grab that log and pull it up into there, depending on what size grid you're using. So I don't do that. So we're gonna go on there. Doesn't need too many of these. Oh, we're gonna get some rain right now. We've got another one here, and we're gonna put one more right over the top of that dark grain right there. Bingo. Yeah, that's nice. Wow, I'm a little surprised it's raining out. You know, I played yesterday and I had sunshine for a couple of days. Then it got cloudy and it stayed cloudy for quite some time. But that's what makes the garden grow, right? Makes the garden grow. Let's grab Am I done on the roof? I don't think I am, but let's go ahead and grab this one piece of scaffolding right off the top here. We can always put this one back. And I just go off the edge because it just works as easy. You don't take any damage, and you don't have to try to finagle your way through that, those little grooves to get through there. Okay, so let's go spin this around here. Do something like this. If I can reach that, it'd be nice. Return. There we go. Beautiful. Look at that. We should be able to reach these guys. Scaffolding placement is kind of a challenge, don't you guys think? Sometimes it can be a real challenge. So we're going to pop that guy right in there, and then these guys should be just about the same size. Yeah, there we go. Beautiful. And one more. Uno más aquí. I know, right? That's about the length of my Spanish. There we go. Look at that. Porch installed pretty much completely. We're going to change out some of the lights. We are definitely going to do that. But I think in terms of what we needed for supports in here, that's a pretty good log for the support action that we need in here. I do believe, undoubtedly, that we're good to go with the porch. The rain has stopped. Oh, look at the house, man. It's looking really good. I'm really happy with how the cabin has been turning out for me. Yeah, that's looking pretty sharp. And like I said, I do have to get up with scaffolding and get up underneath here and put those logs in each place. But I think I might be able to do that from inside the house, and I'll do that on my own time. That's going to be kind of a tedious project for sure. Wow, it looks great. I'm really happy with this. These fruit trees, we're going to cut these down. They're going to come out of here. We're going to do a nice front yard. I'm just not sure what we're going to do with the front yard, and we still have to work on this window and get this window put together. But I need to finish up getting the roof line out to where it needs to be and get the logs put up and kind of hide the flaws, like these little logs that we put in here. That's going to kind of hide those flaws that we have there. Let's go downstairs and take a look and see what we have for, well, let's see here. Hold on. We don't need to go inside. What is this? This is silver. Do we have any tungsten? I don't think we have any tungsten smelted up. Let's do that. I'm going to get some tungsten smelted up. I want to play with some of the lights. Oh, look at this. We've got iron in here. Oh, that's pretty sweet. Or is this aluminum? Oh, no, it's iron. All right. Yeah, give me a couple of minutes. I'm going to go ahead and get this stuff smelted up. And we're going to put some lights in the house. I want to get some lights going so we can see what we're doing in there. And I think that would be kind of fun. We've not played with the lights yet this season. And we did get that Tier 2 workbench made. So let's do that. Boom, we're good to go. And then I shall be right back. I am doing something that I was asked to do a long time ago. I am fixing the bathroom cabinet so the handle is reachable from the toilet. It turned into a much bigger thing than I thought. I wanted to break in the chest underneath there, then I had to break out the wall, then I had to break out everything else just to get that one little piece of wood off of there. I also cooked up some iron too. We were really low on iron, so and we're still low on iron. But the bathroom cabinet has been fixed. If you're on the toilet and for some reason there's not enough toilet paper on the thing, you can at least reach into the cabinet and, you know, get some more. Unless you're one of those nosy people that likes to go through people's cabinets, you're just sitting there. Now you can do it. Now you can search out the bathroom cabinet and find out what's in there. And there, I believe, yeah, the chest is in there. Yeah, I broke the chest accidentally. It did not highlight just the wood. I brought the anvil down here too. Eventually we're going to have an anvil downstairs here and one upstairs as well. So what we need is, before we can make any lights, is we need a bunch of these light bulbs. So we need tungsten rods and iron rods. So let's do that first. We're going to make some iron plates. Going to take care of that right there. And we're going to get some iron rods. Iron rods, there we go. And then we're going to do some, what was the other one? Just tungsten. There we go. Some tungsten plates. And we're going to get some tungsten rods as well. There we go, right there. Alright, beautiful. And then we're going to craft up, how many can we get? 31 bulbs. Yeah, we're going to go for it. Let's take a sleep. Let's go on upstairs to the bedroom and take a sleep real quick. Don't forget, this series is not just about the stick building on the outside and the structure itself, which, by the way, we're coming quite quite a ways now. We're nearing the finish line in terms of what the house is going to be. The cabin is just about finished. You can see I've got some work to do up here on the fireplace and stuff, and to kind of blend that in a little bit. I actually had to bump the fireplace out an extra block back because the flume was going to come up and actually connect with the support beam up there, and we didn't want that, so I had to make some changes with that right there. Bumped it out one more, which took care of the problem right away. Okay, so now let's see here. We're gonna fluorescent. No, we don't want that. So the fluorescent lamp bulb is something else you need. We may be doing fluorescent lights downstairs. I don't know. Lamps, no, we don't need those. We don't need those right now. Those are for the garden paths. We'll be doing those as well down the road. There's a table lamp, another table lamp, 2 iron rods. Okay, so we're going to need to make a few more things here. Let's go ahead and let's do that. Let's make one of these. And, ooh, you know what? I think I'd like one of those out front of the house instead of that torch hanging there. And we got a floor lamp, more iron rods. Let's do one of these and check that guy out. We've not seen one of those before. We got a simple lamp. These guys here are kind of interesting. Let's make up a couple of those. Ceiling lamp, no, we don't want that. Ceiling lamp, chandelier. I don't know if this is a chandelier kind of house, but we've got some lights to play with. Let's do that instead. Let's play with some lights. And boom. And get you up here. Take you out of here. Look at my inventory. It's chock full of great goodness. Okay, so first thing we want to do is let's get our light on the outside of the house. We may go back to the lantern out front. It's just kind of a pretty light, but we'll see. There we go. We're taking that out, and we're going to take and put this guy right. Here's where the grid comes in handy for me. Right there is the middle. Boom. There we go. And let's get something on the bar that we can break this with. There we go. Beautiful. So at night, that should light up pretty darn good right there. All right, so we've got that one taken care of. Let's go with the floor lamp. Something in the living room. We're going to place that right here. What I'm also curious is this stuff going to show up? Is the base of that lamp going to show up downstairs? Holy moly, that lit up the entire room. The entire room. What else do we have? We got one of these guys right here. I was going to put this guy in the kitchen. The kitchen's not done. We still have to put our cabinets, putting the glasses and stuff in up on the wall, so we still have that to work on in here as well. But we're going to be building some furniture too. We're going to be making our own furniture. And this guy right here. I'm wondering if these guys might not look bad way up there on the ceiling. It's not exactly something you'd be able to clean very well. But then I thought maybe the basement might hold these guys pretty well also. But I just don't want to walk into them. Oh, you know what else I thought about with these guys is in the kitchen. These guys might look good in the kitchen. Right over the top of the stuff where you'd want to be able to see. They're kind of a neat light. I like that, you know? It's kind of a neat light. It's definitely different. A little tiny. It's a little bit tiny, but it's okay. And let's put one down here in our work area. Beautiful. Look at that. Oh my God. Those fluorescent lights really work good. We've got the pipe going to the toilet, and I kind of hid the pipe with the chest since we can't really make it look like it's going into anything. So it's just kind of hidden back in there. But there's the toilet. So let's see if this stuff is showing through. That will be up in the bedroom. And let's go on up there and see if that's coming through the floor. Oh, it's not. That is really great news. I thought for sure, like, the toilet comes through the floor. What about that lamp back there? That should be right above the tanning racks. That's the other one I was kind of concerned about. And no, it's not coming through the floor either. Okay, beautiful. Oh, that's perfect. All right, great. So we got to see what this looks like at night, right? Got a lamp in here now. We got this guy in here. That lamp will probably go upstairs in the bedroom, and we'll probably do a couple more of these lights in the kitchen area here. I like it. It's very simplistic. Very simplistic. We don't have a light in the bathroom. Oh, boy. I think one of those tall ones would work really good, too, again. I kind of like those. Let's see. Can we make that again? Ceiling lamp. No, we don't want those. We don't want the... I don't particularly care for those very much. Well, this might not be bad. This little guy right, double click full screen preview. Let's see this guy right here. This guy's not too bad. Let's try one of these out. We've never done one of these guys either. Let's try hit him out in the bathroom. We've got that little chest that sits in here. Little table. Wow, he's small, isn't he? He's a tiny little guy. Wow, why is that so small? I don't like how small that is. It seems... What? You cannot pick up this object. What? Why the heck not? Put the plant back. We're going to make one of those other... Well, that's a waste of material. You can't pick it up once you put it down. Okay, we got to remember that. We want that... We want the long, thin one. Where is it? Simple lamp. There it is right there. Beautiful. Number one. I'm going to put one of these up in the bathroom. You come in, you hit the switch, and it should light up right above. The sink is where you'd normally want something like this. A mirror would be nice. There we go. Beautiful. All right, so now I got to wait for the sun to go down so we can just see how much light this is giving off into the house. I'm hoping it doesn't ruin too much of the ambiance of the fireplace, but we'll see. And like I said, I've got to work on this and get that kind of ironed out up there and stuff like that. And I'll figure this out. I figure what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some angled blocks up in here and just get this to kind of taper up and then leave the house from the inside. And then the rest of the chimney is on the outside, as you guys saw with the ladders on it earlier in the episode. So I think that's good. So yeah, I'm going to wait for the sun to go down. It looks like it's probably going to take a little bit of time for that to happen. Yeah, we're almost at noon in the day. So let's give it a little time. I'll wait for the sun to come down. I'll bring you back, and we'll take a look at the house with some of the lighting on it. The roof looks beautiful. I love it. I wish there was a way to take the planks and turn the planks. There's several different kinds of plywood you can buy out there. I think there's the veneer. There's 1/8 inch. There's 1/4 inch. There's 1/2 inch. There's 3/4 inch. I wish there was a way we could beef it up a little bit, just so the roof had, a thicker plank on top instead of that kind of... I feel like the wood is sort of a paper thin look to it. It's just a little too thin, so it'd be nice. But you know what? While we're waiting for the sun to go down, excuse me. What is this? This is wood beam material number 770. So that's actually what I want. What I want to do here with this stuff is... I'm going to stretch this out. I'll show you what I'm talking about for the eaves. We're going to do some fascia board. We're not going to use the planks, though. We're going to use these guys here. We're going to fatten that up a little bit. And let's turn it like so. Let's hit Control. Can we fatten that up a little bit more? Control. Let's try this out and see what it looks like. See what we think. Trying to get it to go with the contour of the roof. I don't know that I can turn it that way, though. So it's not going to sit flat up there, but that's okay. How would I go about doing that? Yeah, it's not going to let me do that. Okay. I was hoping I could kind of twist it to the left a little bit. Maybe there's a way to do it, but I just don't want to spend the time doing that right now. I want to kind of just show you guys what I'm going to do here for this. We're going to come in off the edge. That's going to be your drip line right there. So we're going to come in off of that a little bit like so. And then we're going to come down to the end like this. And we're going to click that in. Shingles always hang over just a little bit, but we want the fascia board to be the same color as our trim. Return. Control. We should take a look up there. I have a feeling that that actually came through the roof. There's a little bit of a line there, but not much. It's okay. And then control. We're going to come back over here. It's on return already. We're going to bring this down. The return key is such a huge help, like so. So I don't know if you guys can see that very well, but it's really going to add a bit of flavor to that for the fascia board. And it lines up with the color of some of the trim, like around the doors and stuff like that. It's just, it's going to be a nice trim color to have going all the way around the house at the eaves. I think that's going to look really good. So that's my idea there. Let me know what you think of that. The bathroom is fixed. Thank God. Oh, the bathroom's fixed. You can get in there now. You can get in that cabinet. How much do you love that? How much do you... It's the little things in life, right, people? I'll be back. I'm going to wait for it to get dark. We're going to come back and see how the house lights up from the outside when we're outside looking in. So I'll be right back. There we go. Some lights. Yeah, it's pretty good, I think. We definitely have the fireplace still glowing in the house, which is nice, despite the fact that we do have the tall floor lamp sitting in the living room, so that's nice. I also got the stone ready to go for us to do the extended window that's going to be out here. Filled in a little bit of grass out front here. Let me get nothing in my hand. A little bit of grass out front just to give it... It's kind of funny how you go to an empty hand, and sometimes it'll hold on to what it is you're... There we go. It'll hold on to that log or whatever it is that was in your hand before when you go to an empty hand. So we're going to get started on this next because that is the last piece of the house. Now remember, we're not going to do a bay window that's going to come out at an angle across and back at an angle. It's just really difficult to get the roof put on something like that. So what we'll do is we'll come straight out from here. We're going to rework this so we can actually walk out into this little area. And I think what we'll do is we'll put plants and stuff in this area, this room. We've got the ferns that are in the pots and stuff like that. Not a whole lot of choices right now, but we could have like a little green room, a little garden room out here. And then we'll do a roof off of the top of this that comes down on top of this little jutted out window right here. Let's go inside and see how the lights look. This one here, it's kind of weird. It doesn't look like it's lit up, but it is most definitely lit up in this area. I mean, no, that's funny. You can't pick that one up either. I wonder why they made some of the lights you can and some of the lights you can't pick up. The bathroom is very well lit. Holy moly. Wow, is that lit up? It's pretty crazy, huh? That's a lot of light. There we go. But the living room, even with this little light right here, kind of the shade, it looks like it pushes the light down to the floor, which is nice. I didn't want to lose the glow of the fireplace, and we did not do that, but we did manage to add a little bit of light in the living room, so that works out pretty good. The kitchen, these guys are pretty great. Yeah, so we have that one there. This guy right here, can we move this one? You cannot pick up that object either. That is got to be some kind of a bug, right? I mean, if I put a lamp in my house and I wanted to move the lamp in my house, I would unplug it and move it. So there's got to be something that they're working on to get that fixed, because, yeah, you should be able to move a lamp around in your house. I mean, come on. It's a lamp, right? Before we go downstairs, let's go upstairs. Did we put a light upstairs? I think we did. Or not? No, we did not. Okay, fine, fine. Basement. Let's go see how the basement looks. We'll close the door behind us, too. There we go. Oh, yeah, there we go. That looks nice, huh? This feels like a basement. Dropping at that one block, although it took a lot of work and a lot of time to do it, it does pay off in the end. It gives you a little more headroom like a basement. We do still need some of our beams coming down from the ceiling down to the floor. It looks like we've got a little something showing right there. That would be the log and the staircase of the start of the staircase going up. And then we need a light over here. There's the bearskin rug showing through the floor. But we need a light over on this side too, most definitely. But yeah, it looks pretty cool, huh? I love the lighting. I do. It's a lot of fun to play with lighting. That's one of my favorite, well, there's so many favorite things, but the lighting in general is one of my favorite things to do. It's funny how it gives off the light, but the bulb itself does not really glow. Can I move these guys here? It's raining again too, by the way. Yeah, you cannot pick up this object. That is just very strange. There's not a light in my house that I could not take down in my real house that I could not move someplace else. That is very unusual. So I think that's a bit strange. So let's go back out front and take a look again at the front as it rains. But you know what we don't have anymore? We don't have rain on our heads anymore. We don't. It's not falling on our heads anymore. All right, guys, that's going to wrap up for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it again. Sorry it was a little bit late, but, you know, family first, right? That's how it's got to go. So if you enjoyed the episode, hit that like button for me, comment, subscribe, and share. I'm the Radio Man 03, and I want you to have an awesome, a fantastic, and a superb day, and I look forward to talking to you again next time.